Okay, welcome back, guys. This is our third stream, live podcast stream. I'm here joined with Manu, Atu, Kiera, myself, and Gio. So the reason why this live took like 30 minutes to start is because some people can't make it and is running late. We do apologize. We just wanted to get out alive to you know to give all your life, right? We trying to talk with all that and stuff. Recently, some stuff been happening in the background, and we do apologize for not having a live out. If anyone else out there just coming here for the live, um, that'd be great. So as of right now, I'm still starting up the stream. If Manu or Ato or anybody else want to say out the topic, that'd be great.
All right,
Yeah,
so
but I
which
have
one are you
to
going to start with first by?
Hmm.
I'm your parents
Hmm.
first.
Well,
Your parents one. Okay. So he wants to go with our parents push for their children to be a doctor or a lawyer overall better than the children's passion to, go to their other professions, like hobbies or whatever other passions they might have. All right, so I might start with a take real quick. I think first of all, forcing anybody to be anything, right? Especially when I don't really want to be it, is just absolutely terrible, right? And then two, I feel that it's so much in life. Everyone is like, find your life, find your purpose, right? But like purpose is what you give it. You understand? So I feel like if you have a specific like hobby or something, right? And you like doing that so much, you might develop it to the point where you would work for it like comfortably, and opposed to you're going to school, you study maths and stuff, like you're not really strong in that. But your mother wants you to be an engineer, so you're gonna do engineering. You don't really like it. You don't really find it fulfilling at all. But then you have to live that life because somehow food had to get on that table. Anybody have like any other take on it?
so what you trying to say like most people in the workforce these days just it's not really the job that they want to do. So you're trying to say.
Well, I trying to say that when parents push for their children to be specific things, you understand, it leads to them having like less fulfillment in life because they're just working a job to put food on the table, and opposed to working a job because they're genuinely passionate behind it. Like think about it this way, right? In the all of us, like young and thing, right? So like we out there trying to get jobs and stuff. Now we're not gonna get our dream job, right? But we're gonna put up with all the pains of whatever job we get just because we know that we're putting food on the table, right? It's just a for now situation, right? But later on we plan on upgrading. So, it's kinda like that.
How you plan on upgrading?
Well,
Say you get forced into being a doctor or lawyer, whatever.
right.
What more you could do? I mean, you could still like do your little hobbies on your side. Like if you like to paint, you paint. If you
Hmm.
like to make music, you make music. Oh, but is it really a bad thing?
Well, that's also like the argument. Is it even really a bad thing, right? You might think that, right? Because some people might say, well, you're getting money to put on the table. Like, is it a bad thing? You live in this job, people look up to it. It's one of the prestige jobs in society, right? So like, why you complaining, right? But then you basically like don't have like a sense of fulfillment, right? Like every day you go to work, it feels like a drag to you, right? It feels like I'm just doing this because I have to do it, and not really because I want to do it, right? And we have to ask ourselves if that in itself is right or wrong.
Mm.
At least that's how I view it. I don't know if anybody else want to like add their views on it.
What's gonna out of you?
Kyra, the fans want to hear you.
I'm thinking, um, so like I talking from my experience, right? Um, I was never really told like a specific like job that I could do and have like these specific subjects to go with that to make me go into that job or like a specific motivational point for me to go into any field. So I don't really know what I want to do or what I can do with what I have currently. So that is a kind of struggle. So I wish my parents would have at least point me
So
in
you
a full like
point you in
line
a direction.
direction.
See?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It have situations like that where the child don't know exactly what they want to do. So is it
I
bad
feel like
if
that's the
he?
most current one, like common one to be happening. They don't know what they want to do, so they're just acting out all over the place,
Oh yeah,
trying
that's
to figure
true.
it out.
But
Uh,
I mean that is very true, and it's a very valid point, right? But also at the same, like, my argument really against it is that they would choose something that's not particularly easy to get into, right? This is not like getting a business degree or something, and a business degree is not like easy to get, right? But I'm talking about, like, if we're looking at becoming a manager or something like in a business, and we compare that to becoming a doctor or a lawyer or even an engineer, right? There's clearly a complete difference, right? In terms of difficulty, right, for like entry into those fields, right? Yet, like, I think like parents like to force their children. Sometimes the children don't even have the ability to even perform at these level, but they like to force them into these directions, right? And I don't necessarily think there's a bad thing to want to point your child in a specific direction, but I think like
Mhm.
when you force it upon them, like you don't give them the choice at all to be like what they want, that's really when it becomes like a problem.
Yeah, I feel like parents just have like a idealization with like the perfect job or the perfect work, perfect secure place for their child to be
Hmm.
because they don't want their children to suffer like they are suffering right now. The parents are suffering, trying to provide for the children or whatever. But at the same time, right, I don't want to be I don't know that I want to live my life like a child, not like a slave. Please, slavery is behind. I don't want to go forward with slavery.
Yeah, I agree. We don't want to go forward with slavery. Because I remember when I was younger, I think I was around standard three, somewhere around there. My mother especially wanted me to become either a doctor or a lawyer. Now I realized very early that a lawyer was completely out of the question. Like there's no way I was becoming a
why?
lawyer. Yeah. Because you have to
You
read
know a
plenty.
liar.
You have to read plenty, right?
Yes. Oh my
You
And
want to see
lord.
the same thing for a doctor?
well, I
The
mean,
both
yes.
both of them is boss brain though.
No,
So
no, no. You do have to
Yes,
read a lot as
sir.
a doctor, but you have to remember a doctor
exactly.
also has like a lot of practical application. I'm really good at like kinesthetic learning, right? So as long as is a job where I have to like physically do
What's
something.
kinesthetic learning? What's that? What's
Okay,
that? Explain for me. I don't know.
Pull out the dictionary.
okay.
Pull out the Taurus.
Basically, kinesthetic learning is when someone like learns from their experience, from just getting hands on, basically. Like there are
Mhm.
different types of learning. You can learn from like reading, right? You can learn from like hearing. You can learn as a AV, and then you can learn kinesthetic. And kinesthetic is just being hands on.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not good with words, right? Not at all. I stumble the bags on the words. Can't do it. But
Yeah. So basically,
yeah, that's just it.
like I was saying, I realized that very early on, being a lawyer was a no go for me because reading
Yeah.
and me was it wasn't my strongest, point, right? And after a while, I realized that a doctor might not be what I want to be because I remember very distinctly in IT class in I think I was in standard five, we had to like create a project, right? And one of the topic that I had choose was like space or something, like something to do with that. And I remember all the research and everything that I had to do to because you had to present the whole project in front of the class afterwards, like through a PowerPoint and everything. And I remember my mind just being completely blown, like when I learned about physics and all the other stuff to do with space. So much so that I resonated heavily with it, and I realized that maybe being a doctor wasn't necessarily for me, right? And more and more the years go along, I realized that biology really just not for me because I don't know offend anybody out there, but I personally just find biology is the boring science. The being biology
Garbage.
is boring.
Exactly.
Um,
Bio is garbage, dude. I don't care what
but
nobody say could fight me. Bio is garbage.
yeah. But physics and chemistry seemed very appealing and very interesting. So like I continued down along that path basically, right? Yeah, so even though I would say no, I don't have I couldn't tell you what I want to be. Like I'm pretty sure if you asked me 2 years ago, well, if you asked me like 4 years ago, I'd probably tell you I want to be an astrophysicist. Then if you asked me a year after that, I would have told you I want to be an aerospace engineer. And now I can't specifically tell you necessarily what I want to be, but I know it's at least in that sort of realm. It's in that pocket, that niche. So I'm getting closer and closer to really figuring out what it is that I want to do. Right. So, it didn't really negatively affect me, I guess, with my mother, my parents basically, showing like one path because like it helped me realize that that was in the path for me. But again, like if you're just forcing it down your child throat, like you don't want them to be anything else, that's where it becomes really harmful.
Yeah. I don't think they should be forcing it down. I feel like they should just get like a gentle push in all the directions possible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's mostly a matter of money or the ease of what you're doing. Cause say you wanna be you're striving to be a doctor, right? But you start a side hustle in YouTube or something and you get real big and you're making money, you will still some people still won't will stop pursuing becoming a doctor and just go full time with the YouTube. So what you gonna say for that?
Well, I mean, at the same time, right? Like, I feel that if someone has a deep passion for something, like, all right, let's say they want to just gonna become a doctor and then they blow up with YouTube. If they have a really strong desire for becoming a doctor, more than likely, I see that that would reflect in their YouTube, right? And even if they don't go and
Mm-hmm.
finish up like their medical degree or whatever, right? You will still see them like taking strides towards that direction while moving with YouTube as well, because passions don't just completely disappear, right? They normally like die down a bit, but they don't just completely disappear. So although you might not have reached the end that you thought you were going, right, you are moving towards a path that is branching off but similar to the path that you were going in the first place.
My whole take on
So
that YouTube thing is that even YouTubers themselves say don't do YouTube full time. It's not going to work. If you're going to into streaming or even doing YouTube with the mindset of making money, you're doing it wrong. In the words of Valkyrie, she said, if you're doing that for the money, you're doing it wrong one time. What you had to do is you had to do it as a side hustle, basically. YouTube is a side hustle, or streaming is a side hustle. So yeah,
exactly,
once you get a large
because
enough
only after
following
you're
and
fully
then you get
established. Yeah.
like if you get sponsorships, if you get money from YouTube, that's all fine. But a lot of YouTubers say most of the money they get is from sponsorships. So that's really where you have to look at if you're trying to become a full-time YouTuber or whatever you're trying to be. It all comes back to like business and stuff because the sponsorships is literally a business standpoint.
Yeah, and all that is like very good to look at with it. Well, do you have anything to add to it? Or should we move on to the next topic?
I wanted to speak on the whole the parents forcing stuff on the children. I come
Mm-hmm.
in from a background where my parents didn't really force anything on me. Well, my parent, he didn't really force any studies and stuff on me. He told me whatever I wanted to be, you do you, and uh, that was it. But looking back now, I kind of wished he had forced me to do something because like no, I didn't really have that whole I didn't really have that whole experience in having something to do. Like it's like being put into a tank, but now I'm in an ocean and I don't know what to do. You know, so it's like more. I trying to say more parents should teach the children about what to become in the future, not force it on them.
Yeah, open them to options.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try and
in
teach
fact,
them and
Yeah.
show them the options that it have out there, not force it on them. Not not force a certain, you know, thing that they have to do.
Like
yeah,
then Charles asks that question. He asks, "Did your parents help with trying to lead you down a specific path, or did they constrict you in what you thought you could be?"
My
And
parents
he
didn't
say,
constrict
"You
me.
had to get closer to the mic."
My parents didn't constrict me. They told me that I could be whatever I wanted to, just work hard for it. But it was that I didn't really get forced to do anything, and they weren't really that strict on me. So I was kind of lost for a while. So yeah.
yeah. I understand the analogy you was making with the tank and then the ocean, because like he was in the tank, right? But like he was comfortable, right? The walls were there; he could see everything. So although he did not know, right, much, right, he didn't really see how vast or really how deep really the entire situation was until he got cast into the ocean, right? Which is basically just adult life, I guess, growing up. That's really it. I mean, I think on a whole, like this whole parenting thing, would I be just forcing children to do what they want, and like the whole take on everything is I think parenting needs to be updated for the 21st century, because I think a lot of parents don't like get or even really understand the changing world, right? And then they're like, well, this worked for me when I was young, so this is going to work for you too, right? Now, negating the fact that the world is in the same place that it was when they were young, you know? Because I'm pretty sure like a lot of people saw this, but there was a video of this mother. She was disciplining like her child in tongue because I think she saw her child like kissing like some boyfriend or something, right? And she was beating her child, but she also I think beat the boy who was kissing her child. Now I could understand her beating her child. That's her child. She could do as she pleases, right?
Wait. There's another topic.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, but this person asked a question. He was really making a statement. He said that how he thinks school provides a false sense of security.
Yes,
When you
it
leave, it's
really
almost
does.
like think or something. That's true because even if you go through school, you get a degree, a bachelor's, whatever, it still don't guarantee you a job. You might have to stay home for what, years, work at KFC or something, work outside hustle until you like get a high paying job from your degree or something like that.
The thing
Yep.
is, in school, them really wasn't teaching in my school. Really, they wasn't teaching about like how to make money and stuff. They was really just teaching you numbers and theories and stuff. What what some certain students would in my school purchase solo. I'm not going to say out names. They would purchase the solo soft drinks in the grocery near them. They would freeze it overnight. They would put it in the duffel bag. They would put clothes over it to show that they go in and play football or whatever just to come to school. And under that clothes is the frozen um, solos, and they would sell it either break time, even in the morning times. But break time and lunch time is mostly when they sell out and stuff, right? And I was making a real money because they would make like a small profit, but it would eventually add up and stuff when they would go back and buy more and sell more and thing. But it had the little snitches and stuff, and they
Well,
get
yeah,
pushed.
yeah, yeah, and it kind of makes sense why schools wouldn't support something like
But
that
that
because
was that
yeah,
was the
remember it
original
takes away.
hustle for me now, babe, yeah.
Well, I know, but yeah, I understand why schools didn't support it because it takes away from the money that they make at the canteens, the cafeterias.
Yeah, but they wasn't
It
selling
cuts into their
solo at
pocket.
the time because they had banned it. But that was one of the favorite drinks at schools. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it was so looking back at it, it's so well. It was so nice what how they was doing it. So it's like it was very well done. But unfortunately, they can't catch chance of.
I mean, it would happen. Yeah.
A couple years back, I made a horrible decision of watching a vid and why school outdated and made me lose some of my vigor. School is almost the exact same as the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah, it's almost the exact same as it
and that's for the
was
Western world
in.
as a whole. The East seems to have a much better schooling system, and the West learn from it. Too many problems on the side of things. Well,
Well, I wouldn't say that's completely true. I mean, some places in the East, yes, do have it a lot better than the Western side, but although yes, Trinidad is influenced heavily by America, we definitely trace our school roots back to England, right? So,
School don't teach you how to make money. School just teach you how
I
to
mean,
become a
school
slave
doesn't
for
even really
somebody else to make money.
teach you how to like be prepared for the world of work in general.
Exactly. The world itself, because you're going to go out there, you have to pay taxes, you have to do
Exactly,
this, you have to do that. Adult things, but school never prepare you for that.
exactly. School never prepared you for any of that at all, and you just
the only
come into
money
this
things my school prepared me for was donation cards. You understand me? Like Jesus Christ.
The
right.
fundraisers.
Yeah,
Taz, Taddy man and them would be taking the outdated graph sheets and walking out in the road and asking people to donate and keep all the money. Yes.
Oh my
Hmm.
days.
No way.
Be like, school selling, you win a tablet. Yes, yes, yes. You win a tablet if you put enough money. Freaking last year.
That's really the worst. Yes. The whole school system overall needs a complete overhaul. Speaking of which, I heard that the government was planning on doing like a demerit system thing for like schools, where basically like if you like get in trouble in school or something, you lose points, and these points like affect you. Like how the demerit points work for like your driver's license, right? I'm assuming you all know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They plan to like implement something in schools like that so that children will be punished so that they wouldn't like be able to write exams or something like that. But or they wouldn't be like they will be able to see it like if you're going for a job or something like that. But I don't really feel like that's the go-to move. I don't really think that's the most
The
intelligent
thing
thing.
is, with that, no. if they count tardiness as one, that would be so bad because for secondary schools, for example, I know primary schools, parents is just take the nearest primary school, right? But secondary schools is a different scenario because they want the child to go to the top quality secondary school, right? Because
Right.
it has students from my school coming from Grandy and all kind of thing just to come up to town, right?
Hmm.
And that literally causes tardiness because you're now seeing a child who had to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, get ready by 5 o'clock. The sun ain't even up. You had to go outside in the road, wait for the max. The maxi come. You had to spend 2 hours to go and reach to the school. And it's like,
Exactly. And
sometimes certain students does wake up bad because like they're studying whole night for exam. They wake up or something. They're studying too hard or something. They wake up and they miss the taxi. Or it might even have traffic on the road. Look how much cars we have in Trinidad. It's bound to have traffic somewhere, and some students will be late. Like it inevitable. We don't have train systems like Japan or even fast transportation like other countries. We have taxis us, and the taxi drivers in Trinidad are horrible.
taxis and the bus street, that's really no. But another thing I was gonna say too is like we the school system accepts that as like is normal. You understand? Like I personally think that that should be something that needs to be rectified because if a student lives far away from school, right, and we obviously you want the children to come to school to be ready to learn, right? So we're talking about having a good night's rest and everything, right? We want them to wake up unreasonably early in the morning, right, to get ready to just to reach the school on time, so that they wouldn't be punished, right? Which obviously takes away from things because I know some students, especially as you get closer to form 5, right? You have lessons and all these things, right? So let me say, all right, a typical student goes to school, right? He has his full day at school. School finishes, let me say 2:30, right? Then he has lessons for another 2 hours, right? So he's finishing his school in around 5 o'clock in the evening, right? Let's say that he lives far, so it takes him about an hour to hour and a half to reach home, right? So that's he reaches home around 6, 7 ish o'clock, right? Now he has homework to do. Let me say that homework takes about an hour, 2 hours to do, right? So we at 9 o'clock now. Now obviously he had to bathe and do whatever other house things he had to do. So we added another hour on top of that, right? So now it's 10 o'clock, right? So from 10, right? We ain't done yet. He might go and take a sleep because he have a long hard day, right? Wake up in the night or something to study, right? So we added another 2 hours on the clock again, right? So now we have that student being up already for like 12 hours a day, right? Only to come to school on probably 5, 6 hours, maybe even less, asleep, right? And be doing this basically every day and just accepting it like this is normal, right?
So,
Like,
and the parents will go through the same thing. There's your mother, she had to wake up, or she'll wake up 5, 4 o'clock to cook food for you to go to school. Then she had to go to work, come back, or say she finishing work 5, whatever, come back home, start to cook for you again. Yada yada is a cycle. So you
well,
go really say, are we trapped in
no,
the
no, no. You
system?
can see that argument. You could see that argument, right? Usually, right? So I'm gonna look at the two scenarios. I'm gonna look one at a person working, but they don't have a family to support, and I'm gonna look at like someone who has a family, right? First of all, I know most people, right, don't live too terribly far away from their job, right? At least the job is usually within an hour or so of where they live. Most people don't live that far from their jobs, right? So in terms of commute times, is not the same level, right? As well as if you're on your own, like if you do have a family to support, right? You might want to move closer, right? And because you might be renting, you might not own a house. You might want to move closer to your work just because of the convenience factor of being able to reach your work without having to wake up and travel these long hours, right? So you have a lot more options because again, worst case scenario, let me say an adult doesn't like where they're working because they find it's too far. They can find another work that's much closer to them. You can't really do the same thing to the same degree with schools because finding schools that's gonna provide a higher level quality. Which, by the way, the fact that we literally go to specific schools because some schools have a higher level of teaching is crazy, right? But anyhow, right? You
So what
can't
you mean?
necessarily. No,
What
what
do
I
you
mean
mean by
by that
it's crazy?
what I mean by that is we're supposed to have the same education, quote unquote, right? So the fact that we have some schools that we view in high regard, right, and other schools that we view in low regard, right, when both of them supposed to have the same level of education is crazy.
Yeah, but I not just Trinidad though.
It
That is all over the world. Like even in anime, there is literally, and I've never been to Japan, but I've watched anime, and
that's
in
actually
anime
a good point too.
they literally um see that with our better schools than others and stuff in anime at least.
When we're not talking about university levels here, right? I just
No, no regular schools.
okay. Well, anyhow, we supposed to have the same level across the board. And because that is not the case, right? It was not going to be as easy again for a student to just move to a schools that's just closer to them as it is, well, relatively more easy for an adult to move to a job that's just closer to them that provides the same pay or something. It's not the same level of easy. Wait, how we even get on this school system here? Like we didn't start
We're
off
talking
talking
about
about
how parents how to give the children like a line, a push.
right.
Starts in the schools. Gotta go to a good school to get good push.
But then you'll use that restriction as an excuse.
Yeah, boy. Pain.
Not to
if I'll use that system as an excuse.
restriction. Yeah, that you say somebody get into a junior sec and
Hmm.
somebody went to prestige school, quote unquote. The level of teaching is not the same. But what really makes the difference between the student in the junior sec and the student in the prestige school?
Exactly. That's
If
actually
both of them is the same, both of them had the same
Students' ability to work.
ability, yeah.
no, but the thing is,
They
I don't
able to
necessarily see a
learn it.
difference. But what you do have to realize, it makes a difference to employers. Like when you're sitting at your desk and you see QRC or St. Anthony's, right? And then you compare that to
Just
like
know
big
they
Max
able and
Max,
willing. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like regardless of if the performance is the same, one looks more attractive than the other. You understand? That's why I feel like prestige schools, we call they abuse the fact that they have the name. Because you'd find one thing about prestige schools is they definitely all the time they have some fundraiser. All the time you need to be paying for something in the school. All the time, you as a parent have to be paying for something, and you're just paying for it because at the end of the day, your child gets to rock the name of the school.
I wanna oppose this and say
Please,
that
What's your take on that, Duki? Yeah.
Kyra, you want to say something before me?
no, no,
Okay, my opposing argument is to the system. It looks like this. Each school is equal at the starting, but one school end up having higher graduates or higher grades than the others, right? Then that school went up to the top. Now it have all these different schools. They want to hire the best teachers that coming out of the teaching courses and stuff, right?
Produce
They
better
wanna
result.
they wanna hire the best teachers and stuff. That is why they get to call themselves the prestigious schools, right? because they have the best teachers and stuff, right? So shit, where I was going with this? Let's have a look into the system. But at the same time, a teacher is what makes or breaks a student at the same time. If you come and the teacher just slouching over and saying, yeah, well, yeah, we can do this and do that today, but he or she not showing any passion to help the students, or imagine if the teacher only handpicking a few students to help out and just tossing the rest aside, right? Is the same as going into the real workspace and having a boss that's racist or sexist against you. You wouldn't want
Mhm.
to be in that kind of environment, basically. Son, thanks for the bless yous.
Welcome.
All right, so then that brings into consideration. Do you think the ministry should be doing more to ensure that the teachers are actually teaching at the level that they're supposed to be doing? Because I
Like
know,
it had way
Yes,
too much schools
but
for that.
because like I
no,
Like
know
they
that.
have like
No. Like
a
you can
general
go ahead. You
kind
can
of
go ahead, Karen.
review, and the teachers will just sit down there and like for that one kind of review
Yeah,
for that.
I remember that actually there was this one time my teacher was being assessed. But the thing is, the thing I don't like about it is they tell the teacher which day specifically and everything that they come in. And obviously, like when you do that, your teacher can easily just play it off by preparing the absolute best lesson for the day they're going to be assessed, pretending that they're the absolute greatest teacher in the world, right? And then after that, they could just go back to whatever they was doing, right? I think it should be more like unannounced that they just come one day, boom, we're gonna assess so and so. No, steady. You understand? And that would be a much more accurate measure of a teacher's performance rather than telling them like the exact specifics of what's going on. Because even though we can't have an equal experience, there will never be an equal experience. I think that we should definitely have a more similar experience, right? The difference between a prestige school and well, one of the lower end schools shouldn't be a matter of teachers not performing, right? It should be more of a matter of um students
They
performance overall.
but you won't say the prestiges from the results they produce. And say we was to make our school, right? Call it Easy Dubs College or whatever. And
Right.
we set
EDC.
set the EDC. We set the entry requirements to be like from whatever it does with 80 to 90 or 75 to 100 or whatever,
75 to
yeah, to
90.
get into the school, right? You're asking for a set of high quality students with the ability to learn, right? To come
Mm.
into the school, right? And then from there forward is the quality of teachers that makes or breaks the results that they produce in terms of scholarships and whatever.
Mm.
So is you'll say it's from both parties. It have to be from. So is it really saying what he was saying back is unfair? He was saying it was unfair, like somebody in the whole prestige and the junior sector.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfair. I think, across the board, all our teachers supposed to be providing a high level, right?
Yeah, but it's the students as well though. You can't
I,
just put
I,
it
I
on
know
his
I know
on
it's
the
also the
teachers.
students as well. It's also the students as well. I mean, the students are literally the fruit of the tree that the teachers are basically. So it's also up to the students as well. But what I'm trying to say is, regardless of if you're in a prestige school or if you're in a lower end school, I think that you should not be limited, right, by the fact that you have like a shitty teacher, right? You should be limited in the fact that maybe a class is a bit rowdy, right? And it's a more difficult learning environment rather than because your teacher is shit, basically.
Oh,
Because
a
usually
point.
the teaching is more difficult. Do you
Some
think you'll be somebody from a junior sec will be able to perform to the level of the prestige school?
Yeah,
I
if they
mean,
try.
yes, with the right teacher and the right amount of application, I think that they can.
Nah, that's cap. It
No,
have
no, 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 no. I don't think they will.
if the not
No,
for all
like I was
cases,
trying.
if
No, you
the
asked if I think they'll be if
if
they could perform on that level, right? I didn't say that they were gonna be the top students, huh? I didn't say that they were gonna be the top student. I'm just saying
They
from their
can be whatever they
so
want to be
so
with limited, with
the average
limited.
child will be able to perform at the level if they apply themselves with the good teacher and everything. But say the reason they was placed in the see that kind of way, if the reason they was placed in the junior sec was because they have some learning impediment,
well,
they
obviously, if that is the case, then it is warranted. Like I think obviously when you have special need, when you introduce special needs to the equation, that it becomes much more difficult to gauge, right? Because not everyone can learn at the same level, right? Now I like to say that me and you are on the same level, but that is factually incorrect, right? You might be better at certain things than I am, right? And it's the same
exactly
amongst all our children, right? But
not everybody
I
book smart. So
exactly. But I'm saying if we just take if you're looking just at average, right? We take a good performing, like a high performing student from like a mid tier school, right? And we put them in a prestige school, they should be able to perform about the same, right? They may not be the brightest student in the class, right? But I definitely don't expect them to really be falling behind.
but they could use it as going back to the analogy that Dookz used where he say he was in a fish tank. So if you take say the junior secondary people in the fish tank, if you take them and put them in the ocean, they now fighting amongst what top students who book smart and
I
really
know,
really doing
and
the work.
I actually find it advantageous because here's why, right? When you well, all right, when you are smart and you put it into an environment where it's a lot easier for you to perform well, right? You become lazy, right? And you become too comfortable. So when you remove from the environment now and you put into a more competitive environment where everything is more fast paced, right? It encourages you to stay on top of things because you can't afford to slack off, right? So that's why I said that I still believe that if you take, a high performer from like a lower end school or mid tier school and put them in a prestige school, that they wouldn't really be falling behind, right? No, I'm not
So
saying
he's
like if you
saying
take, I'm not
people
saying here's the thing, right? Like I'm not trying to shame any schools or anything here by making this analogy, right?
I
But I
trying to.
think okay, the views of Dukes is not necessarily those of Easy Dubs.
see what you
Any,
mean.
anyhow, right? So like I'm gonna go on with the point, right? I'm not saying like if you take like someone from I don't know, let me say Russell Latte, right? You take some random student from Russell Latte, you put them in St. Anthony's, right? I don't think on average that they would perform on the same level of those students, right? But let me say you take a student from I don't know, Providence, right? And you put them in St. Joseph Convent, right? Like so they performing high at Providence, you put them in St. Joseph Convent, right? The performance, I don't expect them to fall behind really. I expect them to be just about able to keep up.
Okay, well if you pay like this, the quality of work produces different. Say is each school have these types of students. It have the ones who are the top, and it have the mid performers, and then it have the low performers. But
Right.
if you take the low performers and put them in a junior sec, right, what they will become? Not the top performers, or
Yeah,
no? You will
if you take
agree
the
or
low
disagree?
performers, yeah, if you take the low performance of prestige school and you put them into like a mid or lower tier school, then they would be high performers.
Right. So then we base any prestige off of the results that are being produced from the institution, both
Well,
students and teachers.
yes.
Right. So how it could be
Now,
unfair in terms of the like they don't have because the prestige schools tend to have better facilities like
better
the
facilities as
lab
well, exactly.
bigger,
Yeah,
they are
better labs,
more
better labs, more
yeah, better
equipment
computer lab,
overall.
yeah,
But
all that.
that all comes back to environment, you know. What environment your school in though? Because it have environments of schools who constantly have school fights and environment school environments that constantly have students that mashing up the furniture. And because they're
Exactly.
mashing up
Yeah.
the furniture, you can't get a new building or a new block to make
Exactly.
other kinds of classes and stuff if they're constantly mashing up everything in the damn school, right?
Mhm.
And therefore, if you don't have all
Exactly.
of that, you're not going to be considered a prestigious school. If you have so much fights and thing, and the teachers more worried about who going to be the next one to fight or whatever to teach, you know what I mean?
But wouldn't you say that usually the reason why prestige schools have like better facilities is usually because they make parents like kind of pay for it in a way? Because if you watch government schools, right? Like government schools get constant funding, right? And almost all government schools are around the same level in terms of in terms of having facilities, right? Right? And the prestige schools will still have better facilities, right? Because they constantly always having some type of fundraising or some kind of something to make additional funds for that, right? And that's why I think the prestige schools really like added their value
So
is
therefore, you're saying the
Yeah,
prestigious schools
Prestige,
have,
like
have
Maple Leaf. I always wanted to go there because
your
their skirts were so pretty.
So you'll say besides the environment, you'll think the ability relates to the violence too. Like say in prestige schools that have less fights, right?
yeah. I would say people are a
And
little
why
bit
is that?
more civil.
Is it because what the quality of students are better or whatever, not taking into the fact the environment, right? And then the students with less ability in the junior sex schools is the ones fighting more. What you say about that?
yeah,
What do you think on that?
because all the girls and them want to go with one man and pull out knife and thing for each other, you know.
Right.
So it's like crazy, you know.
Wow. I mean that's a very interesting take, Manuel. Not even gonna lie.
What?
No, that's a very interesting take, right? I would say, obviously, prestige schools are filled with well, not entirely, but I know most of the schools are filled with families that usually come from like upper class in society, right? So they're a
Mm.
little bit more well behaved, at least physically, right? Like we don't know how things are, in all areas, right? But they wouldn't be trying to make a fool of themselves in public, basically, right? And that's not to say disagreements and stuff don't happen or fights don't happen or any of these things don't happen. It's just that it's less likely to happen because um they overall just understand things better and would resolve things in a better way than
No,
just
I don't think it wouldn't happen, right? I think like the school would just more cover it up better than the other ones.
okay, so you think it happens at the same rate, but the prestige schools just cover up better.
Yeah, because if you go into like a school that you have to pay to, your parents paying for you to go there, and you causing trouble, your parents are going to do everything in their power to keep that trouble within the school compound or within like a certain group or whatever, so it wouldn't get out to the public and whatever. That's what has
Well,
happened most of the time.
okay, but a lot of these school fights that the general public get to see don't actually happen in the schools itself, but usually outside. So then now I'd ask you, how does that reflect on how students behave outside the school, right? Since we don't really see much like prestigious schools getting into like scuffles outside of the walls of the schools.
It's crazy though. You don't see it, but it's like it's there.
That's what I was trying to think like violence uh, to the level of intelligence. Well, but at worst, and how is the prestigious schools tend to come, the students tend to come from more middle to upper class students.
Yeah.
You're trying to say the less fortunate, more violent.
I did
Well,
not say that.
well,
Yeah.
well, when you
I
have nothing else to do, you just either go and have sex and make babies, or you just because you have no money and whatever, and you're poor and you're restless and whatever.
Divided the
what
That's
schools for
what
money.
I was gonna say is
yeah.
I was gonna say usually coming from a less in oh my god, I forgot the word I was even gonna use, right? But coming from an environment that is, surrounded by the lower class, you normally surrounded to more dangerous and negative activities than you're otherwise surrounded by when you're in a middle or upper
Middle
class
class.
house,
That was what I
you
was
know?
gonna say.
Because I'm pretty sure you be living in like in your community and you see two men get away and the first thing I look to do is fight. You understand? So in your nature basically being grown up in an environment like that, it's kind of being ingrained into you a little bit. So that
So
when
the
you
values
yourself,
and
the values are
moral
different, are
different.
different, you know. Because
Mm-hmm.
the same way you could be grown in that environment, you could come from a lower class home and you could be a church boy or a church girl. You understand, and then you might not necessarily be as aggressive as someone else who's also from a lower class community.
Would you see
That's
us?
how these schools just develop their reputation too. If all the gangsters and whatever going to one particular school,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really learning whatever that will be considered one. A junior set.
Um, would you say a same-sex school is better than than I could than a boys
A
and girls
mixed
school? A
Um,
mixed
And a
school,
mixed,
mixed
sorry. Yeah.
school, a co-ed
mixed
school,
school.
Are
yeah,
they
and a co-ed.
better? Are they better academically?
Oh, at least you're asking
no.
academically, because if you was gonna
Yes.
ask if they're better overall, I was gonna say that's a mixed bag. But I mean, academically, I think so. I think so.
Why?
Because I mean, if it's in
Why? If you watch these statistics though, the the same sex schools that be performing higher though.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
My teachers
Like
used to say
usually.
that the same-sex schools is perform better because they don't have distractions due to the opposite sex
a lie.
being able. Yeah, but
No,
if
but
they're in the
like,
same
A lie.
class as you, you're not going to learn much. You know what I mean?
but the
Unless
thing is, you have
That's
to remember
true,
that
but also a
distraction
lie.
does exist immediately as you walk outside of the school door.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess
it's
that would
not
make
it's
Yes.
not
it would
always
no,
Ooh.
every
but it
day
still
you're
makes
gonna see
sense.
it.
Ooh.
It still makes sense too, because in the classroom your focus is in the classroom, but outside of school is it's outside of school. So I guess
Because if I'm
yeah,
pretty man and pretty girl all over the place. So where am I supposed to look? I
Okay,
can't look at
talking from a different perspective other than academic. What about socially? Because
socially that's why I
you
think things
going in
kind of
a
fall
school
apart
with
a bit.
man
yeah.
alone, right? Yeah. You going in a school with man alone, right? And then when you go on and meet a girl in the grocery, whatever, you can't talk, you can't communicate because you don't have that social interaction and so.
Why are you
I remember
attacking me
human
like this?
beings human beings are social creatures. 'Cause- So what
I
I
had
say
that
from
problem.
one point is a good thing to increase
Hmm.
focus. On the other hand, it's like a double edged sword.
Cause like I mean, you could talk
I
to
mean, yeah.
them, but you'll just be like shaking in your boots, trying to woo this sweet smallie in front of you with
Yeah,
words.
too, you know what
like
I'm saying.
okay. So what
Wait,
I would
no,
say,
both of you went to same sex
Shush,
schools
shush,
though,
shush, shush,
so
shush, shush, shush,
hey, yeah,
shush,
let's
shush,
not get
shush,
into it.
shush.
Let's not get into it. What I
Already.
was what I was gonna say is it is definitely socially challenging, especially because yeah, I remember secondary school is like your teenagers. You just that's when puberty really starts to set in. That's when a lot of the changes really start to happen within the both genders. So it does create a social distance. Well, I didn't want to say that because people would think COVID one time, but it creates a separation, right? Because now
A
it makes
volatile environment,
yeah, it makes it
really
not necessarily volatile, but it does create like a very
unstable.
confusing, yeah, unstable, like
But I would say,
scenario.
Manuel, my school have the wettest Indian in the whole of Trinidad, and of course it.
That's Sarad Duki.
No, it's not me. It's a man named Karan Singh. I will call out his name though. It's a man named Karan Singh. He's the wettest man in Trinidad. Though this man was thieving men girl kind of thing.
well you see well, you see he not restricted to socializing in school, he's socializing
Yeah, I would
outside. We
say
talking about
same-sex
the
schools have
people who does only
more antisocial students.
socialize with people in school. Yeah.
Same-sex schools have more antisocial students, but usually
Yeah, and
those
that
students
is
come out as the brightest too now, but they come out with like
I am the exception.
yeah
Stupid.
the 1%
yeah,
man
use the
use the
exception, not the rule.
minority.
She's the exception, not the rule. Anyhow, what was I gonna say? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing is, I mean, not everyone's gonna experience it the same way because yeah, if you're going to same sex school, but you interact with girls your age all the time, right? It's not gonna affect you the same way it's gonna affect someone who doesn't interact with them at all, right?
Yes.
So
It dials back down to environment because it's like if
And
every day you sitting down next to a girl and thing and you like the girl and thing, you're not going and it's gonna be hard to study what on the board, basically, right? It's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna say you're not going to study what on the board, but it's gonna be
yes, it's
hard,
going to be
right?
hard because you're
Whereas in
gonna
the
be
same
putting
sex school,
plenty
you're just sitting
thinking.
down, mean like
Yeah,
no
yeah,
man, so
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going to
can be
watch the thing, right? But also,
or you think it'll increase the cause of homosexuality.
yes,
No.
yes,
I'm
I have
to be
people.
seen,
honest,
I
to be
have,
honest,
Trust
I
me.
don't even know, but I've heard like multiple stories from different schools about like that those sorts of relationships
I have
within
seen a
same
rise
sex.
in homosexuality in same-sex schools. I have.
So, who Mike is
What a
I
pig.
think that's
Big
you for sure.
glasses, Samsung mic again, which is skill.
How you say what's up?
Okay.
So my God, this man have an iPhone, boy.
yo,
Hello?
who
That
Mike
that
is
is
that
that
way?
is she, the Samsung mic.
Nah, Kara, tell us it's not so. Tell me it's not so.
mm.
Is it
Nah,
there?
yeah, it's better.
um.
So
See what the time.
Mm.
okay, so Gio had asked a question. If you think in the system of ours that SCA should be abolished. Yeah. Yes,
No.
yeah.
Why should it
Because,
be?
well, okay. So I think the argument for the SCA exam being abolished is, all these stress and everything parents is putting their children to pass for, these good prestige schools, you understand? So he's basically asking is like all the stress and pressure of that worth it. You understand?
It easier
Especially
said
because
than done because if you get rid of SE,
Yeah,
how you going
trust them
and
up more. Make them.
no, but how you going and differentiate the smart students with the dumb ones
well,
getting into
no, you
prestigious
can
schools?
still differentiate by performance. Obviously, I think what the government would do is they would probably like send children based on the rooms they live in, but then the performance of the schools overall. But I feel performance overall would drop.
Yeah, but that don't make sense. Secondary schools is not based on territory; it's based on performance.
Yeah, it is based on performance. But I have a feeling if they did do that, our system would become like more like America's.
It
You
it
know, like
yeah, but it would go straight back to a prestigious school. I sure like if let me say Arima had the most smartest children, I sure somebody from Grand League would be like, I want my student, I want my child to go that Arima
you have to
secondary school.
remember Kyra. Yes, smartest. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, what I feel would actually happen is the prestige schools actually would not be performing as well as they are right now. But as a country overall, like if you considered all the schools overall, we would definitely be performing like better overall than we were before because the mix of students is a lot better. However, I
Same, you
do think
shouldn't
like
follow
one thing, what
America.
it does have like one major danger though, and that is when you come from like an impoverished environment, like sorry, let me say like you in school, right? That you have or something, right? And you're not touching up some bad ones and you get in a disagreement or something. Instead of the problem just being in school, now it's going on to your community. Like you're not gonna be safe and even your house and thing. Okay, Kyra, I might need to turn off. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they was it, right, Dookie? Right.
Like it have schools up in Matalot. Matalot is the peak of Trinidad, closest to Tobago, right?
Mhm.
Past Toku, right? And it do have a secondary school up there, you know. It have a community school, right, dog? So that is one of the impoverished areas, I would say, because they don't really have a lot of they don't have a lot of things that normal areas like Port of Spain have access to. And if a person from Matalot want to go to a prestigious school, how they gonna get to there? How they gonna like they had to go through Matalot community school? And if that will happen, like
Yeah. Like it's not the best system, right? To abolish SE, right? It really isn't. If anything, I think we should just put less pressure on our children. That's something we can actually control. That parents should be putting less, pressure on their children. Like obviously, you want your children to perform, but I think you should just be shooting should just be shooting for performance alone, right?
maybe in
And opposed to trying to force them just to pass for this one school. You understand?
maybe instead of abolishing SE, they could tune it up a bit, basically, as in like make it an average, make it like uh, a three-part test, and the average of that is a mark or something, just
Oh
to take the
yeah,
pressure off, you know.
you know how we used to do national tests and stuff, right? What if they take like every because I think you have a national test in standard one, you have one in standard three, right? Because it's the two national tests and then SE, right? What if they took the marks on the national test and they make you write SEA, right? And then they calculate like an average for you. You understand? Whether that be an average of potential, which they could calculate because they see a growth over like 5 years. So what they think is gonna happen, right? And they assign you to schools based off of that. and opposed to just this one exam to pressure everything.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are students who prefer the one test as well.
No, well, I mean, the thing is, I don't think those students would be affected too much because, remember, let me say you did kind of bad in the first national, you did kind of
Yeah,
bad
but
in the
what?
second one,
Okay, and
but then in the third test, you come and you do something like right. So let's say in the first test, you get about 40 something, so you kind of do bad. And in second test, you get about 52, 53, so you just barely pass, right? But in the third test, you came and you did like 80 something, right? Now obviously, right, because you're watching these marks progress, right? You see that there's an upward trend, and you see that the trend has shoot past, right? Like it's grown significantly, right? So you will say to yourself, okay, the potential of this child is relatively high because you see the improvements just been jumping to a high level, right? So you could put them in a medium high, school to like I guess prestige or something based off of the fact they see their performance, leading towards that direction, right? It trending towards that direction, right? And if you just, if instead you prefer to have multiple exams, if you gain 60 something, 70 something all the time, right? That is also showing a trend that you're very stable around this level, that your performance is about this level. So is an accurate measure both ways, I think. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. I don't think much you get much losses from going about it that way. But then again,
what if a student stays down a standard?
okay. So if a student stays down a standard, well, I don't. How does it really affect the graph? That's one thing. Like how it really affects the graph. So let's say they stay down. I don't know, after the first national test, right? So they have the first national test, right? And then they have the second national test a year after they were supposed to have it originally, right? And then they go and write essay. Then I think what would happen is, obviously, because of the stay down, I guess it would affect them. It should affect them a little bit, right? Not to a massive degree where it will cause them to like send them to like a completely different school, but it's really based on the performance on the paper itself that we're really watching. But if a student stays down at the SEA level, like we say they have the percentage calculated, and then they stay down, I feel what should happen is they should recalculate the whole exam. So instead of using the national test score, what they should do is look at the performance between the two essays, like the two, because they just wrote that one recently and then they're writing another one. And based off how much the improvement is, based off of that percentage, then they should determine like which school that child should go to. Because I mean, it does complicate things just a little bit on the assignment of school parts, but I think it makes things overall less stressful on the children. I don't know if Gio, if that was all he really had to add about it.
Hmm.
So you want to move on to the next topic? Um, I don't remember if you saw the video in the group. I don't know if you could pull it up.
Which video? The one with the girl who gets stabbed?
No, not that one. Just okay. We could take an intermission. We'll be right back, guys, after these short messages.
Let me talk my shit. walk that bitch. No, I'm with the shits. Fucking feelings, cause I'm hailing. Niggas make me sick. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me walk that bitch. No, I'm with the shits. Fucking feelings, cause I'm hailing. Niggas make me sick.
Throwing base shade on the gram with a whack hoe. Tryna sing on a track, but can't rap though. Always being messy, dumb bitch. You get smacked though. Been a fiend, I ain't talking about Alaska. Bitch tryna keep it cute, you don't really wanna pressure. Bitch in my class, I'ma really had to test you. Money whole neck flow cold, need a sweater. But really need Jesus, Shay Fletcher. Want my attention, little bitch, where your mother at? Try to lie to you niggas gon' double back. Rappers be lucky if they got me on the track. Cause these bitches be phony and all of that. I just be chillin', I had to sit back. Work on my album, you know that's a fact. Clearly it's respect and telling they lack. I ain't fucking with them, I hope they know that. Bitch, what's next? Busy getting paid, I been getting to the check. All these broke hoes, big man, big fat. Got good vision, but these bitches all whack.
Bitch, you a liar. Want all the smoke at the fire. I know you deny it. All you know better keep quiet. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me walk that bitch. No, I'm with the shits. Fucking feelings, cause I'm hailing. Niggas make me sick. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me walk that bitch. No, I'm with the shits. Fucking feelings, cause I'm hailing. Niggas make me sick. Let me talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Let me walk that bitch. No, I'm with the shits.
Fuck wanna be for me. Tell these to the bum bitches ain't no treat for me. Never by the hand that feed you, they needed me. Cause when shit hit the fan, how they treated me. Come on my full speed, I got transmission. That's the type of shit that you need a bad bitch in. But for a while, but I'm back in the kitchen. Come to miss me, but still hate the ambition. It's been a year, record labels ain't signed me. I'm in the front, all these rappers behind me. Getting money, only way I live in privacy. I'm really hoping for a sign of the God. Speaking bullshit, I'm right, that's facts. No printer on the road, trying to get a couple racks. See a lot of whack hoes out here, trying to rap. Got boards, got buns, nah man, that's cat. Moving that way, they gon' call me a dealer. Eat up the cereal, bitch, I'm a killer. Speak on my name, just know I'm getting bigger. It's sad, but amusing, y'all ain't getting bitter. I be ballin' on these hoes like LeBron, no court. Eat these rappers up, hoe, with a spoon, no fork. Bitch, big man, that I'm to New York. Do this shit with no effort, why these hoes fall short. Bring up a check and I got me a meal. Do what I want, give a fuck how you feel. Blow hella sick, think I need me a pill. See hoes acting different, man, that's how you feel. Bitch, I'm the hardest that came out my city. These niggas been whacking, they ain't fucking with me. Thick booty bitches, they short and mad pretty. Messing with bad boys, and that's what it be did.
This is my return. This is my return. This is my return. Been gone for a minute, but I'm back now. My return. This is my return. Yeah, my return. Yeah, my return. Been gone for a minute, but it's my return. My return. My return.
Niggas tryna cook up in my lab with my recipe, saying that I'm losing losing, now I'm winning to the doctor. Quit schooling, know you niggas go get ready for your SEC. Said it, then I mean it, ain't nobody really checking me. Name a nigga, going hard as me. I'm the one they really wanna be. Stacking up my hundreds, don't you see? You want me on the track, let's pay it up. I'm a short nigga coming from the west side. They be banging in the east, it's the best side. I be in the kitchen with them pies and them french fries. Mixed with my sons, put them up, now it's bedtime. Better cop me some Gucci Dior. Go get my bag, then I hop out the store. Broke bitches talking that shit on the gram, but then realize these little motherfuckers be poor. Last time I checked, you the one that was begging for all of my shit. I'm the one you be checking. Little bitch, sit the fuck down. Go tell your sneakers. I'm ballin' no court. I sit by the bleachers, bitch. Go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I bought me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights. Yeah, go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I bought me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights.
Buy me some Gucci Dior. Know what I like, so buy me some more. This that rich shit galore. Rich ass beat with a pretty ass face. This that folk on contour. Feeling myself with a bust down paddock. This that give me some more. Yeah, give me some more. Gucci, Fendi, Louis, Prada. As he wear it all, yeah, I like my designer. You know, I like money, dollars. I can shake it too if you want to really holler. My wallet, yo, dollars. Yeah, I got the shit in a collar. Big boy, I can take all your dollars. Fit your in frame. I can do what you can. Fuck on your mean and do what they can.
Go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Be on expensive flights. Yeah, go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Be on expensive flights. Yo, nah, say these bitches shut the fuck up. Go against a kid, you gon' really wish you lucked up.
Go against a kid, you gon' really wish you lucked up. Come up in the club, all my girls acting stuck up.
Bitches acting stuck up. Make you put your puns up. Gang bangers that gon' really hear you fucked up.
Really hear you fucked up. Pull up in a big truck. All my niggas coming, now we really got starstruck. If skipping girls, what they supposed to get?
Got ready. Go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights. Yeah, go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights. Niggas tryna cook up in my lab with my recipe. Saying that I'm losing, now I'm winning to the doctor. Quit schooling, know you niggas go get ready for your SEC. Said it, then I mean it, ain't nobody really checking me. Name a nigga, going hard as me. I'm the one they really wanna be. Stacking up my hundreds, don't you see? You want me on the track, let's pay it up. I'm a short nigga coming from the west side. They be banging in the east, it's the best side. I be in the kitchen with them pies and them french fries. Mixed with my sons, put them up, now it's bedtime. Better cop me some Gucci Dior. Go get my bag, then I hop out the store. Broke bitches talking that shit on the gram, but then realize these little motherfuckers be poor. Last time I checked, you the one that was begging for all of my shit. I'm the one you be checking. Little bitch, sit the fuck down. Go tell your sneakers. I'm ballin' no court. I sit by the bleachers, bitch. Go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights. Yeah, go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Put me on expensive flights.
Buy me some Gucci Dior. Know what I like, so buy me some more. This that rich shit galore. Rich ass beat with a pretty ass face. This that folk on contour. Feeling myself with a bust down paddock. This that give me some more. Yeah, give me some more. Gucci, Fendi, Louis, Prada. As he wear it all, yeah, I like my designer. You know, I like money, dollars. I can shake it too if you want to really holler. My wallet, yo, dollars. Yeah, I got the shit in a collar. Big boy, I can take all your dollars. Fit your in frame. I can do what you can. Fuck on your mean and do what they can.
Go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Be on expensive flights. Yeah, go to the store. You know I bought what I like. I make me some Gucci Dior. Be on expensive flights. Yo, nah, say these bitches shut the fuck up. Go against a kid, you gon' really wish you lucked up.
Go against a kid, you gon' really wish you lucked up. Come up in the club, all my girls acting stuck up.
Bitches acting stuck up. Make you put your puns up. Gang bangers that gon' really hear you fucked up.
Really hear you fucked up. Pull up in a big truck. All my niggas coming, now we really got starstruck.
Stream. Cool.
Alright, so we have the second topic. Um, it's a video that was posted in the Easy Dubs group. If all you have any videos, or you could join the Discord and post the videos there for us to talk about. But this video comes from Kiera, who sent it in the Discord. We're going to take a look at it and see what it's all about. I'm going to share it on the screen as well for all you.
My dog, boy.
Come on. Give me a second.
Yeah, we seen this in a
Oh, no, it's
preview.
alright. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My dog, boy. Yeah, this scene, now there's something to see, boy. What on the fucking Trinidad, boy? Me once you know looking like, boy, a average gunman, boy, a super looking gunman, boy, or looking dirty as fuck, boy, you gay, boy. Once you try to have your own style, boy, you gay, boy. The time men who being on strong, dog, they gay. Or you wanna dye your hair, boy, you gay, boy. No wonder why people in this country can't be themselves, though. Cause the slightest thing you do, that different, boy. You like boys, boy, alright. You like rock music, boy, you gay, boy. You like R&B, you gay, boy. I don't understand this country with this stupid thing, boy. No wonder why people can't be themselves, no. No wonder why people just feel lonely and shit and feel left out, though. Cause every time, though, you try to do what you wanna do, boy, you always gonna get criticized with some stupid gay thing, though. Once you're looking like a stereotypical stupid looking Trinidadian, you like boys, boy. They never understand now, boy. So a man strong, boy, and he working out, dog, and he have a good physique, boy. He gay, boy. A man dying here, dog, he have no drink, he like boys, boy. But it's up being close-minded, open your fucking mind, boy. Fuck.
Yeah. So aside from all the cursing,
I say
Right.
somebody do he dirty way. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna let somebody else
he was
take
frustrated. He was very frustrated.
Manuel, you wanna take the lead on this one?
Hold on, I'm doing.
To talk about the video.
Okay. So like I never understood like the concept of everything for every little thing. A man go say that gay, this gay, whatever, whatever. How do you know? Are you gay? How? How? How are you in the know of the gay if you're not the gay?
Well, I remember back
It
in
doesn't
primary
make
school.
sense to me.
I remember back in primary school that was like a little petty this. Hey, you gay boy, you know? You like boys or that was the
I mean, it's still
typical.
ingrained as
Well,
like a prejudice, but in like these big hardback men and they saying that kind of thing. That not making no sense. No, what are you? Are you still 5? What? Grow up. Not everything is about gay and whatever, whatever. People just wanna be what they is and what they wanna do. That's it. Not about the sexuality.
well, what I was gonna say is, I think in Trinidad, especially, people conform to the cultural identity that the stereotypical Trinidadian, especially Trinidadian man, is supposed to have. So when you reach outside of that, you understand, it really has like a weird look that people can't mess with, because although we in Trinidad steal a lot from like outside, you understand. I think when it becomes like a wide scale thing, it just becomes more accepted in society. But like when you're still isolated, you're just doing something by yourself. You kind of viewed as an outcast.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's really my take on it. Again, it has nothing to do with sexuality, of course, but I think that they prioritize cultural identity more than individual identity.
Yeah. But the thing is too, right, if you go and tell somebody about how what they doing gay and whatever, they're gonna feel a how and not want stop doing what they um like or wanted to see if they could do or whatever. And they would just be unmotivated and then fall into like a depression and then it will go deeper and deeper until they're dead if you think about it.
I mean, that's a good because I think in Trinidad it doesn't really matter because like in Trinidad, right? It doesn't really matter for you to be, I mean, you should support your culture, but what I mean is you don't need to be a stereotypical Trinidadian in Trinidad because you are Trinidadian. You understand? Like, why would you want to fit in and just be the average Trinidadian, right? So like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? To just be the stereotypical Trinidadian in Trinidad, but I can definitely see it being like important outside because you should definitely hold on to your culture because it is to a degree what molded you to the person that you are, right? But I don't like really how people be taking that and confusing it with your individuality because just because all right, someone likes to wear like a lot of chains
He
or
was talking about culture.
I was talking about what?
I thought he was talking in the video. I find he was just talking about general stuff. I find he was kind of over exaggerating though.
Yeah, I mean I think he was to a
If
degree.
somebody if you're buff you're gay, that's insane. I never heard that before.
No. What he means is like let's be real, right? Like usually when someone thinks of a Trinidadian person, the picture that comes to head isn't like this big bulky guy. You understand?
But he never
Not like,
said, he said if you have a good physique too. That doesn't necessarily mean bucky.
yeah. I guess that's a
A
good place
nose
to start.
ring. If you have
If
a
you have a
nose
nose
ring, you're
ring,
gay.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
say.
If you have any other piercings that
I
is not
mean,
just the ear, you apparently supposed to be gay.
everybody is their own self. Like, you'll find your
E-
passion
Exactly,
somebody
everybody is
for
their own
showing
person.
individuality. Because
Mhm.
everybody different. The reason the puzzle does fit is because each piece different. They can be like, oh, you ought to do, you ought to be a gunman. Everybody in Trinidad has to be a gunman. Everybody ought to be skinny. Everybody ought to be,
If you're not safe,
everybody's their
no
own
girl know
person
who I
target.
am.
Yeah.
Basically.
If you comfortable with wearing your nose ring, you rock your nose ring. Like,
Mhm.
that's you and it's the expression of yourself.
No, but I guess his point is more that our culture isn't like as accepting to like being different, because like if you're a man in America and you have a nose ring, no one's really gonna like care or really even like bat an eye at you, but you're definitely gonna get stares here in Trinidad for doing something like that. Matter of fact, like people here be like super judgmental over anything. Like if they find your voice not deep enough and as an your man, apparently you're gay automatically. So it's just I don't know. Nobody have anything else to add? Again, add what you wanna say. Just
Yeah,
do
I
the
was gonna say something, but I say nah.
say what you have to say, the
Like
podcast
the
for us
whole
to say what
thing about
It's you
like
see you're saying Trinidad more less accepting of those stuff. Which could be a good thing or a bad thing though.
mm-hmm.
Um in trying to get banned. I know it's Pride Month and everything.
Oh my word.
well,
All right,
let me
let's
say
do
my
this.
It's
own.
the exact
Let
thing.
me say
Where
my
you
own
going?
first,
Where
because
you
this
going with it?
man singing like if you going and this man singing like if you go and commit a hate crime, like. What I was say is when you see if he looking like this, he gay. It's just the reason why I'm pretty sure the reason why the person saying that is because you fit in the description and you're looking like what most homosexuals would do. Like at the beginning, I'm pretty sure they used to pierce the nose and stuff. Because to me, I didn't really see men doing that. But see, I could only remember in my memory that the only woman did that. But the reason why the person called him gay when he get a nose ring was because he used to only see women doing that, basically, right? That's
Yeah,
how
exactly.
I
So
wanna
it's
put my I
fun of
just
them
wanna
gay
put
because it's a
myself
feminine
in the
thing to
shoes
do.
of somebody. You gotta try and put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see how it will look to them and stuff. But at the same time, it shouldn't really bother you because you're not going and care about them after you walk off.
I mean, yeah, you might not care about any one
And
individual
the one with
person.
the high pitched voice too is like you know they do have a kind of girlish voice is what well the way of speech is more girlish is what I can say. And don't come at me saying, oh, the fine girl and all kind of things. Stop. The way how Kyra does, if Akili was to talk the same way as Kyra, we would wonder what was wrong. All right? Would you
What do you
agree?
mean?
He
Atu,
meant if I was to talk like you in your same pitch,
you're
using your
kind of
same inflections.
yeah, do the same speech.
Trying to
Basically
say
talk
my
like a
voice high or
female.
what?
No, he's trying to say like if I'm not
You
even gonna
saying
do
my
it
voice high?
I ain't even gonna do it because I ain't even trying to embarrass myself on this podcast, right? But he's trying to say that if I was talking with feminine
Like
well,
a dainty voice.
yeah,
Okay.
that yeah.
No, because
Mm.
I just watch people and I hear them talking like that, and I was be so surprised. And then I realized that people can't talk like that because everybody voice like voice
Like
box. What do you call it?
you know,
Vocal cords is
it's
different.
like it's like a thing. See, it could. It's not to be offensive or something. For most homosexuals, from the time they open their mouth and you hear all your stuff, you automatically assume they gay. And I like,
No, you're like
They have a
not at all. Because some of them singing
I like how.
so different from the typical image that you have in your head.
I said for most though. I didn't say for all. Like, see, the first time in school, the first time when you hear this
My
man talk, I walk in him.
God. No man. No man.
This time when you hear
No.
he talk, you don't like assume I'll call the other maker when that's when we make the protection unit for Salim.
My God. Stop.
Gio,
Stop.
you know what I talking about?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
know what I talking
you
about, right?
can't be doing that. Yes.
I just saying from the time he opened his mouth and I see how he was talking and portraying himself, I assumed, you see. He has always judged somebody by if his first impression. So I asked you, he was gay.
Poor Salim, yes, way.
But you know who I talking about? Like, all you don't wanna get, like, all you don't wanna get cancer with, man. You know what you. Yeah, cut
No,
out the audio. And we
Yes,
had to make a
we had
whole
to make
group
the
chat
BPU, the
because
BPU, the BPU.
because they say he had like Salim, so we had to make a whole group chat. And this man gonna
I don't know who's that person, and I was added to the group after all that. I was added to the group after all that. I wasn't even friends with
Wow,
or none of that.
the name of
wow,
the group
wow.
was
He
Salim
was
Battery
one of the,
Protection Unit.
Nah,
he was one of, he was literally one of the founding members. Ever say what?
who's that? Not me.
You,
No, no, I
Who
wasn't.
is that?
Duke, he was a
It's
founding
Joshua who
member.
make the group, you know.
Yeah, Joshua who make the group. It was Joshua.
Yeah, but the group wasn't named that when I come in.
It
For
wasn't
real?
called the BPU.
I know somebody.
No, it's
No.
the
I
group
talk
before
about a
we stand
separate
by.
group. It's a
Yeah.
separate group. Yeah, Joshua make a separate group to protect Salim because you know they was talking about he go take advantage of Salim. What kind of madness? Yeah, but a while back too, I was saying you all didn't, thought assume he was, from the way he was talking and thing.
Bro,
He was in
if I'm gonna
E4.
be honest, bro,
No, he wasn't upper
Oh well, no one know who it is. No,
no, it
glasses.
had two.
he was tall, and he
Had
was tall
to.
with glasses.
I
It
had
had
two.
two. Both of
Guys, and
them.
the one who sit down in front of the gate when Miss Suting was trying to drive out.
That was the person who tells Salim he like him.
Yes.
Oh
He
Jesus
tell he
Christ!
told Salim. He tells Salim that.
No, I asked him. I
No,
asked
he
him.
didn't tell him. But
Oh,
you say not to everybody else. He didn't want to go and tell him that. Because then Salim will get mad and run away. You know. He was just doing it
Why
from
run
a
Salim run
away.
distance.
away then? Why Salim gonna run away?
Run away is crazy.
Or he go sit down there and stay and be like, yes, honey boo boo, I accept you.
hey
Yeah, but you don't have to
yo,
walk out. You don't have to
No,
run
but why
away.
say run away? It making it
You don't
sound
have to
like if
run
he was
away.
going to rape the boy
like
or something.
exactly.
Run
That's
away.
No, because I know when people are like in comfortable situations, they would just run away from the problem.
No, just tell
So
him.
you're
Just
saying
to
so
tell
you're
him
saying
that I'm really
homosexuals
into
are scary?
that.
No, it's just uncomfortable when they come and profess their love to someone who is not a homosexual, you know?
yes, it can be incredibly uncomfortable.
I so
No,
dry now.
I'm
Even
not so
So the
homosexuals
knee
hate
jerk
me.
reaction is
not,
to
not
run away.
so sure
Wait,
for me.
the audio come back?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
But yeah,
mm.
I just a friendly reminder to everybody on the Easy Double channel. I so dry now. Even homosexuals want to confess nothing to me. So
What?
I
Y'all
told
don't even listen to this
I
one.
told I told
I
us
don't.
I don't have 8 girl in the chat you know. Today alone you know.
But we was talking about homosexuals, not gal.
Wait,
Thank you,
so
Kyra.
so so girls can't be homos.
You will take that as a compliment. After you say you advance,
No,
you will
no,
take that
I'm
as
not
a
taking that. I'm
compliment.
not taking that as a compliment. The reason I saying thank you, Kyra, It's because he's getting off
No, but
topic.
would you
No,
take
I
that
talk
as a
about I talk about if a homo, a gay person
I
told you
not
he
Oh
like
talking
my
about I'm not
god.
talking, bro. Here's the thing, right? I'm heterosexual, right? So I could give a
Why?
damn.
That's boring. It's a
Listen,
joke. I'm sorry.
listen.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't beat me up, please. Don't beat me up, please.
Anyhow, right? So I don't give a damn what niggas think, right?
you.
I don't give a damn what niggas think, right? So that's why I personally wouldn't take that as a compliment. Because it kind of just doesn't mean anything to me.
Hello? No, I was talking to my phone because I almost got electrocuted. There was a spark.
boy Samsung boy. Well done.
That's what we're talking about. You understand? If my phone got charged, she had to get shocked. Something I would.
No, boy, my phone on 2%, and I put in the thing, the plug, and I just see spark and crack, crack.
Po.
So I was, hello. Oh God.
I can't be the only person. There we go. Anyhow, let's get back on track. Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a compliment. No way I was going with this, Manu.
Nah, I was just asking. I didn't even know where I was going. I completely forgot.
Oh.
You just ask and then forget. Anyways, what's the next topic to
But
talk about?
but 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 because of that, you treat them like as not a person. How
No.
how
No.
you react?
No, hold on. I will treat them with the same respect that everyone deserves to be treated with, as long as they wasn't coming around me with that shit still. You understand? If I say no, I'm not into that shit, then I expect you to understand I'm not into that shit and to stop and to respect my barriers. The exact same way that if I walked up to a woman and I said that I liked her, she said she don't like me back. She expects me to respect her barriers. You understand? The exact same way.
And it always works for Europa. But
And worst case scenario, they don't respect my barriers. Yeah, remember we have the VPU, right? On speed dial.
It really matter because the army of women that Ato have, they just defend them off. So
I don't understand what
you
they're
don't
trying to
think
about. All
you
I
don't
do
think
when
like
800 if a bomb.
society trying to force it, like trying to force it amongst the people who are
What's what?
heterosexual, homosexuality, or the whole LGBTQ on our whole.
No, I have a question to ask, and I don't want you to kill me because it's kind of a dumb question. But like, why do you have a street flag?
alright, we dig myself in a hole here. We had to like move away from this topic. We really had to move away
I
from
could
it.
tell you.
We
You
dig
know why?
we dig in a 6-foot hole right now.
And you better not say because it's boring.
No, it's not because it's boring. It's because heterosexuality is like the most desired and like most idealized sexuality out of all of them, while the others are just pushed aside and cast away. So that's why I don't have a flag. Doesn't need one.
Let me move away from this topic and talk about that cruise ship madness that going on in what? I don't understand and didn't follow it. So anybody can explain that cruise ship? That cruise ship.
So basically, I was signing up to become a seaman because mine wasn't working, right? And
Hello?
if I
Oh wait,
You was what? Hey, pause.
What?
Anybody?
I was
Anybody?
confused.
Pause in the chat.
Pause.
Flabbergasted.
Pause in the chat. Hello. You were signing up to be a what?
a seaman,
Oh, okay.
right? And yeah, when you went down, they had a long ass line fight like that, dog. I went down there like I think I reached like
Him explaining it is more funny. Yeah, what you see? It had a long line. It had obstacles and things too.
yeah, boy, real obstacles, dog. You had to jump, you had to duck. That sun was beating real bad by dog, boy. Catch no kicks by dog, boy. Plus, I ain't, I'm getting paid by
So
the way.
it had a real plenty people. What it about though? Why everybody so fixated on doing that cruise ship thing?
Okay, because going on a cruise. Well,
Wait, what are we
first,
doing?
okay. So first of all, the country has really high levels of unemployment. So this is one of the
Oh,
few jobs that is actually available for like people to get. Right. Number two, right? Besides the unemployment thing, uh, it's you get to think about it this way. You're literally getting paid to go around the Caribbean or well around the world, right? So it's like it's a unique opportunity that most people wouldn't get, right? Number three, right? The pay is decent. I wouldn't say the pay is like it's not trash.
what's the pay?
It's 2,000 US per month, but you have to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Namina. I like sleep and I bleed. No, can't do it.
Actually, that's the funny thing, like my brother was telling me that he couldn't work this job because he doesn't think that he'll be able to handle himself in a room full of men, basically.
Cause why?
Mhm.
Because he'll be going because he'll be going because he'll be going he'll be doing a no nut challenge for 7 months.
What?
Oh, he wanna go
But
ham. Okay, damn.
what do you room of men have to do with that?
Well,
He's
he can't.
shy.
So, like, think the hold on, right? So imagine everybody, like, imagine you in a room, right, with six other guys, right, and everybody tired by the. I remember these bunk beds you sleeping on, right? Everybody tired and thing, right? And you decide you want to rub one in.
Okay,
Oh,
It's
that
this
is
sounds nasty, yeah,
insane.
but bro, get
That is
creative. Find
you,
somewhere else to do
you
it then.
nah.
It
You gotta be real desperate. If you tired and you wanna pelt, nah.
I was to
no,
get creative if you're so
no. I
desperate,
mean,
get
the worst
creative.
part about the worst part about it is like it's trash, absolutely garbage. So anyhow, yeah, like I said, it had real obstacles to dodge and thing. All them news people and all them people with their mask off and think that they find the place hot. They wanna be breathing in your face, right? Well, that only to not get through. Now they didn't even see me. You understand? That's how much people that had. I stand up there for 5 hours doing nothing
Man,
in the sun.
you might wanna unlock our Xbox achievement.
But I was
Masturbation,
like,
man.
but you know how much gears? Oh, pause. Anyhow, let me flip that back real quick. You know how tired I was, standing up in that sun for so long, my dog, where the line barely moving over. It was crazy.
So you wait for the whole thing?
Big dog.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Exactly. One thing I hate is that, like, dog, it shouldn't. You have to spend so much money, dog, before acquiring a job to not get the job, dog.
Yes.
That's literally what pains me every day. Imagine I wasted so much time, though. Though you know what could have been doing with that time, dog? Though if I literally had like a license to like sell stuff, I probably could have make a $500 in the 5 hours I stand up the dog.
You stood out for 5 hours to get nothing in return.
Yeah, but you could
Yeah.
rent out
Well,
umbrellas and
Dookie,
things
you
to do by
understand? I,
yourself.
I don't think I don't think people are accustomed to that type of sweet sauce from me. So like it ain't gonna make sense for me to sell
Hello?
sweet.
Hello?
But
Hello? 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 Wait.
Remember
Wait,
earlier you say
wait.
it had a real
Take
yellow
that
line,
out.
yeah? So and he talking about his sweet or something now, eh? You understand me, chat?
Hello?
anyhow, I don't know though. We gotta find something else to do though. Like I don't know, sell doubles. I don't even know how to make doubles though.
You know, you could just go by the sauce factory and um buy their doubles and you go and sell it.
Yeah, but is it gonna be like cost effective to do that?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. You know, many of them have doing that.
That was about to ask you that, like, why she not doing that?
I have no time to be standing up 12 hours a day. A feeling I'd wrap in that
All right.
double
But
paper.
You can
would you
imagine your
support my double son?
Yes.
Well, I
If you give
appreciate
me
it.
the first one free, I will buy the others.
Wow. She feel my double stand is a clearance store. It's not buy one
I
get
say,
one
I
free.
say, I say you had to give me the first one free, and then I'll
Nah.
buy the others
No,
from
no,
after
no.
on.
Nah, my double stand is not a clearance shop. It's not buy one get one free.
I'm not buying one and getting one free. I'm buying the first one free. That's it.
After freeness is yo. Let me not go there.
makes sense what you say there, but
No comment.
Yeah, zero comment.
Trying to get yourself in trouble.
Hey yo, how we end up on this job thing? Where we was before?
You was talking about your job thing.
The cruise. We was on the cruise. We was talking about the cruise.
Cruise.
Yo wasn't so yeah. It had like a lot of positions and different stuff you could have go on. It was like also like a good learning experience too for people. And it's also one of the biggest cruising companies, I think, in the world in general.
oh
I
yeah,
think Royal is
I see
one of the biggest.
that cruise ship company made a lot of spelling errors and stuff in the ad and thing. They spell
Yeah, so is it even true?
Caribbean.
Question mark? Question mark? Is it a conspiracy? Question mark? Question mark?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I don't have that.
Because if you are well known establishment, how can you not know how to spell? Question mark? Question mark?
I don't know. Maybe that's why they're hiring people, you understand? They realize their team full of uneducated people.
And then, you know what this could be? It could be like a next kind of
And next kind of what?
slavery.
Oh my days.
Because all of them going on a big ship
Oh
and
my
they
god.
quit.
Oh my
Oh my
god. No.
days.
Oh my
No. But what if it actually comes out like in a scandal later on that was what's going to happen?
Please don't go to see the traveling or in a triangle, please.
Not even the Bermuda Triangle. Like, we not even go there. I know which triangle. I know which triangle. I was in history class, right?
I didn't know what that was. I
I
did
was
history, but I didn't, you know.
I was in social studies. I know what you're talking about. They go from Europe to Africa to the Americas back to Europe.
Uh-huh. Well, we don't know what's going to happen on that ship, and the next thing you know is the next Titanic. The Caribbean. Let's go, Grenada. Grenada.
This girl really bringing up that old ad though.
Let's go, Grenada. Let's go, Grenada. Oh,
I honestly believe Trinidad could just put in a train system and burn all these taxis and stuff.
yes,
No,
I
no, no,
want
no.
taxi
Hold
train.
That polluted the
Oh my
Airbnb.
god.
no. I feel even if we install a train, we can get rid of all the tax.
Yeah, but it
It
will
don't matter. We can have both, like how we have
smart
it in
people
like
will
Korea
And
and
also,
Japan.
technically, we couldn't put in. Here's why we can't put in train, because it would significantly, obviously, affect the maxis and everything, which would cause massive riot. Yeah, I remember like the government also have to like please the people, even though they want to do stuff. So if they propose something, they're going to have heavy backlash
Bro,
like
I
that.
will literally leave this country if people start a protest and think if we put in a train system that's going to be 100 times more effective than
No,
traveling
but the thing is,
by maxi or whatever.
imagine if the train system as effective as the bus station. Then men can't
Why
reach
you
anywhere on
making up?
time still.
Yeah, but why you making up a situation that benefits the taxi men?
No, but look at it in like other countries. Other countries have taxis, they have buses, they have trains.
And then they have
They have all of that and all of that working harmoniously together. But it's which one is the better one for you?
No, but think about it this way,
Because
right? If you live anywhere that's like relatively close to the bus, right? And let me say the trains doing about this about most of the stops that the bus route maxis will do, right? Then who would ever take the maxis when the trains are literally cheaper and faster and more comfortable? Who would
well,
ever
that's the
take that?
thing. One, if you
Well,
wouldn't have both of all of them going the same place, you know, the bus route used to
well,
be for like the buses, and then you will like create like a training system, like the opposite side
well,
of the
right.
bus route
Well, right.
to
Well,
call.
besides the massive amount of money would cost, right? Like I said, as an average citizen, I would appreciate the train, right?
Yep.
But as someone who was as a maxi worker, they're not going to appreciate it because they're to stay well, not really to stay competitive, but to stay profitable, they're going to have to raise their prices. And obviously that's gonna become even worse because if they raise the prices, then less people would want to go on the maxi, which means that maxis are going to become no longer profitable and they're all going to have to stop operation, right? So you basically by bringing the train here, you completely get rid of one entire industry.
Yeah, but that whole maxi and taxi thing is literally a negative, because it's still producing a lot of carbon dioxide into the air.
Exactly, which we could electrify. If we electrify the
But
vehicles, then
and
you know,
and the fees for the train gonna be more expensive.
Yep.
yeah, because you had to
Train's gonna
maintain
be
track. Yeah,
very
you had to put
expensive.
on track. You had to put on tracks, which incredibly expensive. Not to mention, the government might have to do a lot of buying our properties and stuff because obviously the train needs to operate in an area that's gonna be at least parallel or close why is to the bus route, right? Not too far off, right? And then you have to constantly maintain them rails, the lines as well, the lines, because I'm pretty sure it'll probably be gas trains that we run in here because, Trinidad and
And you
Tobago.
have to maintain the train.
And you have to, I mean, yeah,
That
the more collective.
but those adding more job opportunities though. Which is
Yeah,
good.
yes,
Correct.
they do add more, right? But it means we have less simple jobs. Think about it this way, right? All you need to do to work maxi is have the license and buy a maxi, right? It's so easy. Almost anybody could do that, right? But to become able to work on a train, you need to go to school and study for probably like 5 years or so, right? Get a degree, right? So after school, study like 5 years, get a degree before you can start working on trains. So it's a much more
So
complex
then
process.
the train conductor will be like a government job.
Exactly.
So then, we should give up the hopes of making our workforce more smarter, so that we could please the carbon dioxide spreading maxi and taxi drivers.
I'm not saying that. All right. First of all, right? I personally think the government needs to diversify how we make money. Firstly, right? Because we can't just completely eradicate. We can't. That's one of the reasons why Trinidad and Tobago can't just go green completely, because it would destroy our economy. Like if we went green completely, listen. If we went green completely, right? Then that would mean we are not even our citizens not even buying our own product, right? People
What
on
is
the
our
outside
own
do
product?
oil and gas.
And we're not even producing it anymore.
We
We
still
are.
produce it. We just don't refine it, right? We still produce it. We just don't refine it, right? We send it somewhere else to be refined, right? But if nobody else want the oil or the gas, right, then there's no purpose. Now I'm saying we can't completely go green because it will destroy our economy. We won't make money anywhere. Well, yes, we'll make money in smaller places like tourism and stuff, but in comparison to how much money that oil and gas actually brings into our economy, those are nothing. So we can't completely go green. We actually need that oil and gas money to diversify our economy first,
I
right? Then we could
I,
consider going green.
I hear somebody say something about how TNTech had banned solar panels in the past because they didn't want anybody using renewable energy besides their energy.
Patty patty.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know if they did it for that reason or if they did it for
She
efficiency.
fucking
I don't know if
completely
they did it
ruined
for
it.
that reason or if they did it for efficiency. Because I can remember in the very early days, even the early 2000s, I'm talking like late 90s, early 2000s, solar panel technology wasn't as efficient as it is now. Like nowadays, like I definitely think we should be using
And
solar panels
expensive too.
way
That
more.
have nothing to do with me wanting to buy a solar panel and making my own energy. The cost
Well,
and
all
the
you had to do
efficiency
was
have
do it
nothing
in
to do with
secret, you
TNTech.
know.
No, but the thing is also
Secret.
our grid probably not set up for it because at the same time the government would love, right, if we made energy because it means that they have to spend less money in oil and gas money to generate electricity for us. But our grid not set up in a way to take back current from like us overproducing.
Yeah,
So
bro, stop waffling and just say TNTech want money now, boy. Because it's like
I mean, I'm not saying that that's not
all
the
these things
case.
you're saying they just have nothing to do with TNTech. I just want my own sun energy
I
into my house.
Yeah, but the thing
Nothing to
is
do with the grid that they have.
nowadays you could just throw a solar panel on your house and have your electricity if you want. That's the thing. But I
No,
just
it just don't happen like that.
Yeah, you have to wire your whole house and everything. Plus, it's
Yeah, and then you have
expensive.
to remove tea and tech from your house or put
you don't
on
necessarily
half
no
of
no no
your house or whatever,
you don't
whatever. It's a
necessarily
long
need,
thing.
you don't necessarily need to remove that.
Well, you
That
need to do something, and
you
that's
just
a
need to,
long
no, you
process.
just need to, yeah, the only thing you really need to do is actually rewire your house. Well, actually, not even your whole house. What you could do is you could stop T and text connection to your house and send it to like a switcher. I forget what it's called. There's like this big panel box, right? That you could connect right to your solar panel and to
Man's,
your T and text,
man's,
and you
man's,
could just switch in between.
Absolutely
gonna
the
take a
same,
rod
bro.
and cut the line, yes.
No, well, obviously you wouldn't like cut your line. You would get like a professional to do it. Yeah, you ain't gonna be like, but yeah, I feel I don't want no T and
Yeah,
text
but
and
why
What
you have
that's
to,
it.
what
why
Yeah,
you
kind
wanna
nah.
cut
of
your
what
line
kind
for
of
who?
studies is have to do to be like a tea and tech
And
technician?
You have to specialize in electrical engineering,
Five
obviously.
subjects, maths and English included.
Yeah, math.
I lying, I lying, I lying. I don't know, I don't know.
No, my cousin actually used to work in tech. He did Form 6, and then after that, he went under that specialized program in electrical engineering, and he
Okay,
was working.
but trying to be one of them ladies on the wire.
Nah, nah, nah. Well, let me not talk about my cousin.
That's
Who shall go nameless?
the same one for the gal.
No, it's not the same one.
I have to take the girl by the way.
What? I assure you, there's one. If there's one thing I assure you, Dookie, you'll never hear a story about Ato thieving somebody else, girl. Never.
What? Johnny Depp goes back to court for beating someone on set.
What?
what?
No, 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 no. That just pop up on my Google 1002. Why have marker? What's else not here? I know what's going on. You should take it and actually donate to the places she said that she was supposed to go and donate it to.
I
She
mean,
still have to pay back that too, even,
yeah, but she can't give
you
me the money. That's
know.
the thing.
Oh
Yes.
well, you can't be poor and pretty. She had to pick a struggle.
She's
Both of
neither, but
them.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be poor and ugly. You had to choose a struggle.
She put
Not for Miss
she
Anthony.
picked both. Both was given to her. I'm going to boil water to bathe and bust out
Anybody realize
because
that the
I
two
need to bathe and sleep.
All
Anybody
right, let me wrap
realize
it up, guys.
anybody realize the two therapists on the trial was blondes? But well,
let me not get into this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard
I just
thing.
saying that because usually in TV shows the therapists be blondes. I don't know if it's just a stereotype or whatever.
Shakira.
We don't bring up that PK now, boy.
Yes.
We don't bring it up. We don't bring up
Yes.
Lisa PK.
Hey, Picky. Oh my.
Fumble everything in your life, yes. Alright, alright,
That's
guys.
tough.
This is the end of the stream. Akili just messaged me on WhatsApp that he has to take a really big dump.
To go. We have to go.
He has to take a really big dump. Kyra has to go and
I have to bathe. I stink. I have to bathe.
yes, sticky, stinky, smelly girl.
I'm telling this all over the internet. I need to bathe. I need to bathe.
This is it.
Let it be known.
This is it, guys. See you guys next time. Hopefully, we have the full gang here. Hopefully, and
Hopefully.
it'll be more interesting. I guess I don't know.
I don't
Man
know.
was holding shit whole podcast. Yes,
I ain't gonna lie.
That's
Can
tough.
you please change the title when we finish, Dookie?
The title is
It's
not the same.
true.
No, because you remember Cody's actually not here.
Why is seeing that? What do you? Oh, okay, never mind. Alright. Laters, guys. Next time.
Yeah, later. Bye.
Easy. 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 Easy.